We live? We are live in the media centre in Singapore. Slush, Graham Brown from Asia Tech Podcast, joined by
Bebop Gresta, the chairman and co-founder of Hyperloop Transportation Technologies.
Hyperloop Transportation Technologies. That's such an awesome title. We've got to talk about Hyperloop, what it's about, where you're going with it. You're on a mission to change the world, change transportation.
I think the mission is mainly to actually give humanity a system that is not only fast, but it's also efficient. And in our vision, if we are focusing on speed, we make a big mistake. The complete series of transportation industries that we have right now in this planet are based on a concept, on consumption. And this is a very stupid way to actually condemn humanity to a certain self-destruction, because we are using scarcity as our exchange and value. And this is stupid.
These are strong words, Bebop.
Well, it's not strong, it's a reality.
Right.
We are using something that we call automobile, that is in reality immobile, because it stays for 80% of their time in a garage. And when we pick it up to actually do what we call transportation, in reality we are in a line for hours, stuck bumper to bumper in a cities that are congested and they are designed to fail. We build our entire society around cars. The entire city is now built around cars. And this is quite stupid, because we have the technology to fix this problem. And from 2013, when Elon published the white paper, me and my co-founder thought that it's time to fix it.
Right.
And we have the technology to do it.
What is the technology? Explain to me, as a layman, not understanding how Hyperloop works, explain to me what it's all about.
Imagine a capsule full of people, 30, 40, 50 people. We put this capsule inside the tube. You suck out the air from the tube so there's no resistance. Now you can move these people from point A to point B at almost the speed of sound using a tiny fraction of the energy. Seems like a futuristic technology. We're actually building it right now. And we are building using a combination of technology that already exists. When we initially decided that that was something that we want to do, we didn't do it in a normal way by trying to raise as much money as we can and then spend it as fast as we can, Silicon Valley style. Yeah. But we decided that maybe it's time to actually do a call to action and ask humanity for help. And what we discover immediately after is magic, is that when humanity come together, amazing thing can happen.
Help comes.
And the technologies that we needed to actually build the first one were already there. We had all the infrastructure, the technology to vacuum, the levitation system, everything from civil to design to everything we needed there at the tip of a finger. And the most incredible people around the world started to join our team, giving them stock options, not even a monetary reward, but only the possibility to participate, to get the ownership of this project. And what happened is magic. We have now 900 people.
900 people?
Yeah.
Stock options, not salary?
Working from 42 countries. We have only 35 employees and minimum cash burn. We have had 100 million contributed in assets and 32 million in cash, and we have now in the implementation of the first prototype in Toulouse, but we have already 11 countries that signed in to actually have an Hyperloop. And 3 of them we are in commercialization. So we are actually starting the construction on the first full-scale commercial lines.
So tell me about this prototype in Toulouse. How big is it? How many people can it take? Explain to me, help me picture it.
So imagine a giant tube of 4 meters of diameter that goes on for 300 meters in one side of the Francazal airport, that is a military airport.
Above ground, below ground?
Above ground. The first one of 300 meters is almost a meter high. The second section is 1.2 kilometer and it's 6 meter high. And this is capable of certification. It's a certification track because, as you will see in 2 days, we have a big announcement on the topic of certification in Munich. There's a big event, and we are under embargo right now, so I cannot talk about it. But in 2 days, you will see what's going on with 6 countries involved in the project. And this is the first phase to actually start the commercialization, because we've had the amazing results that the first insurance company in the world worked with us, Munich Re, for 1 year. And now we are not only insurable, but we embedded our insurance in our license. So it's a moment where we can actually roll out the technology with the possibility also of going into the market, because when you can certify it, you can actually run it.
Great.
And this is the biggest insurance company in the world. And we have TUV, the biggest certification agency, that actually work with us to actually create a regulation framework. And this is part of the announcement in September 16 in 2 days. Yeah.
Okay, so you're building this prototype in Toulouse. Why did you pick France to do this?
So France, it's interestingly the #1 country in terms of promotion of R&D in the world.
Right. Really?
They are
everything for
everything
transport
in the
technology?
world. They are the biggest investor in R&D in the world.
Right.
So we've had the amazing opportunity to actually join with the government of Francasal to actually get funding. A big research and development center is coming up with the matching funds and with tax exemptions and some incentives actually to hire people there. So we have already a team of 10 people hired full time, and we have an incredible amount of contributors that now are working to actually have the first certification track up and running. It's a real full-scale track. Whatever you've seen right now up is little prototypes built by several companies. We are the only one and the first one that actually built an Hyperloop, and we are also the owner of the brand Hyperloop worldwide. So we're not only the first company, we're the original company, but we don't want to be the block of the market. We want to foster innovation. We want 10 different competitors. I want to create an industry. So Francasal is the first of a series of tracks that we are now implementing around the world. The most important one right now is the one in Abu Dhabi, because after Sheikh Falah bin Zayed Al Nahyan joined our team, the brother of the ruler of Abu Dhabi, and he is now our sponsor in Abu Dhabi, we have been able to sign the first commercial line with Aldar, that is the biggest construction company in the region, one of the biggest in the world, owned by the government of Abu Dhabi, that gave us 10 kilometers of land, and we are building the first commercial line for the Expo 2020. So in June, we will be able to demonstrate the first 5 kilometers of a longer line that will connect Al Gadir to the Abu Dhabi airport.
Okay, so you have this sort of staged rollout. How long will it be before the average person will be using the Hyperloop, and what sort of scenarios? Would it be to go to the supermarket, or will we go to a different continent? Help me understand.
So the construction time, we are calculating that we can build 100 kilometers per year, but we are planning to roll out from 2022 above 1,000 kilometers per nation. So it's a very exciting moment for us, because we are really in the moment of commercialization. In reality, we have still several obstacles to pass, and the first one is the regulation. Regulation is good, but regulation needs to be really thought through. We're not a plane, we're not a boat, we're not an airplane. And
where do you fit in? Right.
We are an Hyperloop, so we need a new regulation. And this needs to be thought in a way that is not trapping the Hyperloop into the perils of impeding this technology to express its full potentiality.
Yeah.
So we need a real real effort, and that's why we have TUV SUR as a global partner. They're the #1 certification agency in the world, and they've been following us since the inception.
Okay.
So after that, your question is very appropriate, because everyone thinks that the Hyperloop will connect only distant cities, thousands of kilometers. In reality, we foresee that the Hyperloop can be applied also inside the city, because the Hyperloop doesn't have to go at the speed of sound. This is the maximum theoretical speed that we can reach. But we are working already on a slower version of the Hyperloop. And we are working also to develop, by switching from the tube, several exits every 10 kilometers, basically. And with an approach that is completely different from a train. A train has to move the maximum amount of people from point A to point B to point C to point D. The problem is I have to go to point Z, I have to stop every single time, everybody. Very inefficient. Hyperloop has a different approach, a small capsule of 20, 30, 40 people that can depart every 30 seconds, and it can serve different points. So the first capsule departs and goes to point B, the second goes to point C, the third to point D, and an artificial intelligence is designed to actually respond on demand based on the demand. So a very efficient way to move people and cargo with full occupancy of the capsule and with a departure time that is very similar to a metro than to a train. So it's all about efficiency, and speed is the very, very nice consequences.
Okay, so let me ask you now, is the Hyperloop fundamentally an engineering challenge? Or is it something more than that? Is it simply a case of we just need to get the technology to work? Or do we have to change how we think about the problem?
So it started as an engineering challenge. We designed the version #1 of the Hyperloop. There will be other versions. In the first version, the capsule goes back and forth in the same tube, and we have multiple tubes on the same pylon. In the second version, the capsule is an agent that go in and out of the tube and can pick up people. These agents will be able to do several things: self-drive, fly, and do amazing things like join together as a train and detach when this is the right moment. So imagine that this will reshape the entire way we conceive transportation, because who wants to own a car in an environment where you have these agents that can pick you up in several minutes and bring you fast in cities that are distant 1,000 kilometers in few minutes? Your life changes, your habits change. You can go from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur 2 times a day and work in one city and live in another one.
Is that going to change like how we understand cities and how we live together? Because cities are planned around transportation.
Yes, but it's completely sustainable. It's very cheap and is based on the fact that we can produce more energy than we consume. So the reality, we can reshape humanity's habits. And who wants to live in the center of the city anymore when you can build a new city between Singapore and Kuala Lumpur, a new city completely sustainable that is 12 minutes from one center and 14 from the other. And maybe it's a new city that is based on different concepts, that doesn't need roads, that is completely renewable, and is based around humans. I think I would love to live there. And like me, thousands of people, especially the new generation, that got it.
Right.
If you ask to a kid now, or a teenager, or a millennial, if they want a car, they look at you in a weird way and say, why do I need a car? I don't, own a car? No, fuck you.
Exactly, it's old school. But you remember, if you go back to the sci-fi movies of the 50s and 60s and the flying cars, it never happened, and we were kind of expecting that reality. So when you talk about the Hyperloop, Bubot, people must say, you must get the doubters, the critics, the people who say, you're crazy, man, you're crazy. We've talked about this for 50, 60 years and you know, this ain't going to happen. How do you deal with that? Because you have now a lot of people on board. You have a lot of interest, a lot of capital and resources behind you. How do you deal with that, sort of the doubters?
I use a Chinese proverb every time. Those who say it can't be done should not interrupt those doing it.
Right, okay.
So
that's great advice.
I think in October there's a big reveal of the first human passenger capsule that we will reveal in Carbures in Spain. I think the world will wake up and look at this system as something real. There's a badass 30 meter per 2.75 capsule ready to be tested in Toulouse.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, we will be showing this technology to the world. In 2019, we start to build Abu Dhabi because we are in detail design. It's fine. You can be doubtful, and as when they saw the first hyperloop of the first plane of the Wright brothers lifting off, it was magic, right?
Yeah.
Every advanced technology is undistinguishable by magic, but the reality of the fact, I have confidence that humanity not only will be adopting this technology very fast, but is the first of a new generation of companies that can disrupt everything. What it makes me more proud of the Hyperloop is the way we're building the Hyperloop. We have people from NASA, Tesla, Boeing, Aerospace, Tesla, Lockheed Martin, MIT, Stanford. These are people that are working 10 hours a week and they're getting stock options. And these are the best and the brightest mind that we have in this planet. And they're all working, giving us ideas, solutions, assets, and tools to actually not only solve the Hyperloop 1.0, but to actually have an innovation calendar that it's 15 years long. And I'm so excited because I can have a preview of what the future will be. There are people that likes to imagine the future. We're building it.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's fantastic. And I think as well, you're putting yourself out there. You're quite a public figure as well. You're quite happy to go up on stage and talk about this. And you have a movement behind you. You say 900 people?
Well, the movement is 300,000.
Right, okay. So the stock options, right? 900
yeah,
people.
900 people that are hired as a contributor and a community of 300,000 that are actually participating on the works, and it's incredible.
So what are you looking for now? I mean, people who may be watching this, people who sort of hear your voice and your story, who want to reach out to you, what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear people who have ideas? I mean, do you have enough ideas, or you want people who think I can do a particular skill, or you need people who have capital or access? Well, what's important to you right now?
We are always looking for three kinds of capitals. The first and most important one is the human capital. If you are a talent, a scientist, an engineer, a student, an artist, whoever is your skills, think that we are now in the moment like when we went to the moon. By going to the moon, we invented 60 new industries. We are in the same moment right now.
Right.
So we need you. And we need your ideas and talents. We have a very sophisticated
Even
way
an
to
artist,
filter.
like you say?
Absolutely.
Really?
You
What
will
can
be
an
very
artist do?
surprised. We have a complete new generation of in-capsule entertainment that we are developing with big brands and amazing artists around the world.
Right.
And when we are implementing the Hyperloop, we're trying not to solve one problem and create another 10. We're trying to redesign the human experience based on one concept, that traveling sucks right now.
Yeah.
And the passenger experience, the in-capsule experience will be amazing. So imagine how much creativity we can unleash on a new generation of travel that don't need windows, because we have high definition screen that can visualize whatever you want. So where do you want to go? What is the world that you want to explore this time? We can bring you there. And this is one part of a bigger series of talents that we are searching. Then we are searching for assets. If you have tools, assets that we need to build an Hyperloop, please join our team. And the last thing, of course, money, because we are also building the first one. So this is the only moment where we will need capitals. That's why we are starting a raise, a global raise. We already raised 100 million in asset and 32 million in cash. The second raise is 175 million to build Abu Dhabi. And we are surprised on the amount of money and talent and assets that we're receiving every day. I'm receiving 80 curriculum a day, but don't be discouraged and please apply to join the team.
Yeah.
We have
Don't
an incredible talent pool to fill worldwide.
Yeah. Awesome. Bebop, it's been a real pleasure sharing this with you, and thank you for coming on and sharing this with us as well. The best way to reach out to you, I know I've got you on LinkedIn here. What's the best way to reach out to you?
Everything. I have an amazing social media team.
All right.
Instagram. I'm not that good in Instagram. 12,000 people, but I'm big in Twitter because I'm old, I know. Twitter, guys, the blue thing, okay, no, the millennial will never get it.
That's the guy you want. So
Facebook, I don't know if you remember that old way that we were communicating. I'm still there. the old school.
Well, just reach out to me. I think you want to hear from people. Don't be discouraged by the volume of people that are making contact with you. Just kind of, if you've got a good idea, just be persistent.
And we have artificial intelligence that actually is helping us to filter and to get the best idea come up and actually be visible to our incredible HR department. We have more than 40 people in the HR department. They are dedicated to actually filter all this amazing number of people that wanted to join the team or to contribute.
Awesome. Bebop Grester, everybody, co-founder of Hyperloop Transportation Technologies. This is the man. If you just get him up here, if you're looking on LinkedIn, go and reach out to him there.
I wish I was that beautiful.
Awesome, man. Great. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.